So today I'm heading off to meet a chap called Mike Turnbull. It's one of our subscribers. I have met him a couple of times before, but this is the first time he's actually been with his bike. So Satnav says I'll be there for about 5 to 3. It's telling me I've got to make a turn along here somewhere, but I don't see where the turn is. There isn't a turn here. Right, Windmill Lane, it's going to be here. There we go. Then onto Summer Lane. Now I've been on that lane before, not in this direction now. So what I've done is I've put a route in my Satnav. There we go. To bring us back to a place somewhere near where I live, about 10 minutes or so away. It's right by the M56, so you can get on that and go straight home if that's what you'd prefer. Now I've got 2 Ghost X's on the bike today and a Ghost S. The Ghost S is on the crash helmet, it records my voice as usual, it also records where I'm looking. I've got a Ghost X on my helmet looking backwards. It's the standard one, so it'll run for 5 hours. I won't need that much today. The one on the front has the extended power pack on it, so that'll run for 8 hours, 8.5 hours. Again, I won't need that at all. And I'm heading off to somewhere near Knutsford. Satnav says I'll get there for 10 to 3. Now it was a glorious morning this morning. Started to rain just before I left the house, but well, spit really. And now it's just a bit cloudy. But dry at least. So it should be not bad for riding really. I'll be turning into Halton, I think. About here. And then a right turn here. This is Hatton Lane. Been along here before. Back there's the Hatton pub. It looks like a nice pub, but I've never actually been in it. Not sure if this is Stretton or not. Oak Tree Barns Express. Membership available. Oh. Oh yeah, Stretton. There we are. A right turn and then a left turn. Yeah, so pretty much I've got a different set of cameras now. What I like about the Ghost X's is I don't need to carry much in the way of spare batteries. The one with the extended power pack, that's a full day's ride, and all I got to do is remember to switch it off when I get off the bike, and it'll record the whole ride without having to recharge the battery at all. The one on my helmet, 5 hours, but I have got a spare battery for that one. Spare battery is the standard one, so it'll last another 5 hours. So basically, after 4 or 5 hours, just swap the battery over. I also found that a 32GB memory card raw records for 5 hours as well. Not a lot of space left on it when it's done that, so 5 hours is the maximum it'll do, I think. But in that case, I can swap the memory card at the same time as swapping the battery out. That'd be fine. 10 hours worth of recording in a day. Of course, I could, I think I can link it into a remote control, the standard drift one. And if I did that, then I'd get for probably a couple of days out of a single charge. And that would be brilliant. Ghost S is still the same. It still needs a new battery every 2 to 3 hours. But as it happens, it's a quick swap. And I have 10 spare batteries. So if I use just that setup that I've got today, I'd need 4 batteries to run the Ghost S for a full day's riding. And with 10 of them, I'm going to get almost 3 days riding. 2.5 days riding, which again is handy if you find yourself camping, or if you find yourself in a hotel, which we have done from before now, where there is absolutely no way you can plug every single thing in. It's handy to have a camera that you can just keep running for a couple of days without having to worry about charging things up. So, apart from making sure I don't lose any of the cameras by having them fall off, which they're all tethered, I've got a setup that I really like. Paul tells me he likes the video from the Ghost X, so he's happy. And the only reason I've got for using a remote control is if I do 5 hours recording and give it to Paul, he'll watch all 5 hours, looking for the bits he can pick out and use, whereas he may only have recorded an hour. So it's more work for him. So a remote control, when we switch on and off together, means he's got everything more or less in sync. Appleton Thorn. Paul, of course, is still in editing mode. I was talking to him the other day. He's going to be in editing mode for, well, until March next year, he reckons. He's on day 3 with our Romania trip, and I think there's a total of 14. So he's got 11 more to go. That will be at least 11 weeks. And he thinks he's got 2 more videos for the meet and greet we did in the Peak District. That's 13 weeks. That's going to get him September, October, November at least. I'd imagine some of them would be short, but we don't know. I mean, I'm not the person doing it, so it'd be like him telling me that I could plan something in a day when I know I can't. So it's done when it's done, but that's going to take him at least until Christmas. He wants to do separate videos for each of the passes, and I think we did 11 passes altogether. So if he does one of those every week, that's another 11 weeks after Christmas. That'll get him to March, no trouble. Crossed that motorway a few times today. I've also got my new Satnav with me today. It's the TomTom Rider, and I've set it to pick twisty roads. I think it says thrill. Well, okay, but twisty roads will do. And I'm just following it. There are no waypoints on this at all. It's just a case of following it to where I want to go. So it's definitely steering clear of the motorway. And to be fair, it's picking some nice roads. I don't know who's got right away here, but we can't both have that lane. Right. Let's see what's coming the other way. Nothing. Great stuff. Right, 200 yards. I think it'll be where that car's come from, so. Mossbrow Lane. Let's see what. Not sure if I've been on this one before. Might have been. Moss Lane. Oh, I bet this is going to be a proper lane. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, well, the road surface there doesn't look bad. I'm okay with this. It's not gravel at least. Oh, bloody hell, but bumpy. Ow. It's definitely, all by itself, picking a bit of a clever route. Now, I've had a few comments while I'm just bobbing my head around a bit there, that I move my head around a lot. People prefer the camera to be kept still. Yeah, I do look around a lot, to be fair. Goulburn Lane. I wonder if this is going to be a proper lane. Oh, look at this. Well, okay. A thrill. I wouldn't go so far as to say that this particular road was a thrill. I'd ride it, don't get me wrong. I'd do it for completeness, just for covering an area on one of my little local road excursions, but I wouldn't pick it to ride for fun, really, by the looks of it. This is the first time I've tried it on just thrill. £300 This will most likely just be a left-hand bend. Yeah, it is. There's the road coming in from the right. Definitely a bit bumpy. I was considering putting my Satnav on there, the end of the screen there, but if you look at it, it's bouncing and bumping all over the place. I don't think that's a wise move. Where it is at the moment, it's on a ball joint in the headstock. If you've watched Romania episode 3, that rattled itself loose. It's not the first time, but it's been a long time since it last did that. But as I say, somebody showed me what looks like a better idea. It clips down to the handlebar down there, but the only reason I haven't bought it, I actually bought a new balls joint for this, and I got a spare one as well to put under the seat. So if anything like that happens again, I'll just swap the ball out. But it goes on the handlebar there. Now the chap that showed me had the ZZR40, well, the GTR 1400, so it's the touring version of the ZZR, and his fairing went straight up. Mine doesn't, mine comes out more flat. So I'm not 100% sure that I can put my Satnav on one of those and keep it clear of the windscreen, but I am going to meddle. In the winter, I am going to meddle with it. Because if I can get the Satnav a bit higher up without it actually intruding into my speedometer, that would actually be pretty damn good. Well, hardly a thrill road again. Nice and twisty though, and it's taking me into some places that I might not have picked myself if I'd been left to my own devices. Okay, this isn't actually a right turn, it's just the road following round. Who green? Trust me, it is a nice place to be walking a dog. Yeah, so I'm not sure, but like I say, I will experiment with it because it would be really good if the Satnav was a bit higher up and I got basically right at my eye line. One of the things I do, and I have done it today if you haven't already noticed, is I enjoy riding the bike, so I just belt along, and the idea of looking down at my Satnav never enters my head until it's too late. And today doesn't really matter, I haven't got waypoints, so it doesn't really care. But with waypoints it would have gone all wrong. As somebody said, it takes you back to your first waypoint, or to your missed waypoint. And it won't let you move on to the next waypoint until you've done the one that you've missed. They don't seem to be smart enough to say, well, you're not going to do that waypoint, are you? But admittedly, it's actually quite an easy problem to fix. In one extent, when you're planning your routes, if you pick a road you really want to ride on, you pick waypoints that will force the Satnav to do it. Sometimes if you've got a really long road that runs on for miles, just put one in the middle, it'll get you onto it and you'll stay on it. Other than that, it's put a waypoint on somewhere on the road before you need to turn, and then one in the middle of the road that you want to be on when you turn. That works well. There are problems with roundabouts. Sometimes, if you're on a roundabout and you look down at your Satnav to see, is this the turn I'm meant to take? Satnav might be a little bit behind you, and so you're about level with taking the turn, and your Satnav is a bit further back. It looks as though that's not the turn that you should take. And if you believe it and go for the next turn in, you've gone wrong. And it will just take you round and round and round until you get back to that waypoint. The only choice you've got is to delete it. The alternative is to look at the road you want to be on. Bear in mind you're probably going to go wrong on the roundabout. But look along the road you want. To see if there are any other roads that join it from where you think you might be about to go wrong. There we are. So the waypoint itself then isn't immediately off the roundabout, it's a bit further down the road. So if you accidentally go off the wrong turning on the roundabout, it will automatically guide you to the next waypoint without sending you round and round in circles. Now, it's a nice idea, and I've done it a few times, but it's not always the best. Sometimes you're better as soon as you realise that it's not following, it's missed a waypoint, or you have missed a waypoint. It's just basically to stop, delete the waypoint. And there we are. I've got to admit, the inside of this helmet stinks like you wouldn't believe.